You're listening to WICR, Iona, Colorado.
Every decision.
All right, and welcome to a special edition of We Got It Covered. Well, not a special edition, just another episode, another week, and we here. If you noticed, as you probably have, I'm here alone. I don't know where Dominic is. Dominic is out. He's away. But I am still bringing you information because you know we got to get it covered, man. Every day or every weekend, every week, every Friday, we got to do it. Every Thursdays, we got to do our podcast, the damn podcast. Dominic, Andrew, and Moses. We out here. We're doing it. We hustling on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you think you can find us. You can probably find us. So let's get into it right quick. I am a hockey fan. I've played hockey all my life since I was about 5 years old. Started out here in New Rock. The first time I actually went skating was in Yonkers and Murray's. Shout out to Murray's. But, I started out here in New Rock. That's where I started skating, getting my lessons and all that stuff. And that helped me a lot, before I moved to Canada. Because Canada is the hockey capital of the world, obviously. So definitely all that training and that playing hockey here helped developed me to go into the next level, next step, and just from there it exploded, skyrocketed, of course, playing hockey almost every day, even at a young age, playing 30 games a season. For a young kid, that's a lot. Like high school, I don't even think you play that many games, depending on the league you're in and all that stuff, but I think when I played in high school, we played 20 to 30 maybe, around there. But so at a younger age, I was playing more hockey in Canada than I was here. So that should tell you something about the hockey in Canada. It's crazy. If you play hockey and you get a chance to play in Canada, take it. It is definitely an amazing experience. Not only do you get to travel, but you get to see, different levels of talent, different skill sets. The whole just culture of hockey up there is amazing. It's kind of like football down here, or in baseball and basketball in some areas down here, or soccer worldwide. In Canada, that's their sport. Lacrosse and hockey. Lacrosse is actually their national sport as well as hockey and lacrosse, but a lot of people don't know that. But that's a little fact for y'all, because we got it covered. We always got to give you the facts. So going off that, the NHL season has definitely begun, and it's been exciting so far. Ovechkin scoring 7 goals in the first 2 games of his season, switching from Bauer to CCM. Now, to me, that's wild, because he was originally CCM when they had the whole Ultra series and blah, blah, blah. Then he switched over to Bauer. I don't know for what reason. Maybe they just, they couldn't strike a deal, or Bauer offered him more and all that stuff, blah, 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 politics of hockey. And now, though, he's back into CCM. So I work at a hockey store, and I got to see this firsthand. When they put out the new line of sticks, they put Austin Matthews instead of Alexander Ovechkin on the sticks. To me, that was crazy, and that's why I believe that he switched from Bauer to CCM. So he's using the CCM stick, and he's using the CCM skates, which are probably the two, maybe not most important. The helmet is the most important, concussions, brain injuries, and all that. We got to watch for that. But they're probably the 2 most sought after pieces of equipment or tools that you can use on the ice that you need to play hockey. The stick, definitely. Kids, they go crazy. When's the latest stick dropping? This and that. If the stick is dropping, you're going to get more calls for that than anything else in the whole store. Maybe the skates. Skates are probably second. But the stick, definitely. All the kids want to dangle. Be Patrick Kane, be Jonathan Taves, be Connor McDavid, all that stuff. So the stick is definitely probably the highlight of it. And that's the one that got me when I saw that Austin Matthews was on the hockey stick. His name is on it. They put the name of the player, and that usually determines the curve of the stick. It's a whole thing with hockey, the curve and the flex and all that stuff. But the curve of the stick, they put that on, and then they give it a number, a letter and a number, and then the name of the person who uses it. So Crosby is the P29, Hossa was P40, and that was the curve of the stick. So you could identify the curve by either the name on the stick or the number itself. Like Stamkos, I know it's because I had a Stamkos stick, or actually 2, the PM9. Ovechkin switched to CCM from Bauer, and to me that was crazy. I liked it. Because I was always a Bauer person. Ever since I was a kid, I had Bauer stuff. And I had some CCM sticks. One of my favorites was Vincent Lecavalier curve. He's my favorite player. I wore number 4 because of him, so it makes sense that I had the stick too. I like that one. So, yeah, the stick is definitely a staple in hockey. Whichever hockey stick you use, it is important. So he's been scoring 7 goals with that, so that might elevate CCM stock a little bit. And people are going to question why he switched from Bauer to CCM and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So that's exciting. Definitely Austin Matthews scoring 2 overtime goals in 2 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and definitely just being a beast this season as he was last season. Last season scoring 4 goals in the game opener, in the season opener. Definitely a thing that has not been seen before, or maybe I don't even know if it has to be, probably not been seen before. In the first game ever, your rookie season, scoring 4 goals. That is incredible. That is amazing. It's hard enough to get a goal, then 2, then 3, a hat trick. That's rare too. You know, there are players, great players who maybe have single-digit amount of hat tricks. Maybe 10, 11. You know, if they get lucky or they're really good. But to get 4 goals in your first night, that's amazing. But yeah, he's doing well. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they're good. They're a young team. They're dominating as well. And also the introduction of the Golden Knights. Now, this is a great team already. They're doing well. I think they went 4 games without losing yet. So they've just been a great franchise. You know, a lot of people were skeptical at first. Las Vegas, really, blah blah. But it seems to be working. Their Twitter is great. Their Twitter is hilarious. If you haven't followed their Twitter, follow them. They make, you know, good comments. It's kind of like Wendy's. If you've seen Wendy's on Twitter, follow Wendy's too. They make, you know, quick snippy remarks and all that stuff. So definitely the NHL this season is great and is underway, and I like all of it. I just wanted to talk about my favorite team, though, the team that is going to win the championship this year, and that is the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to win the championship. Now, they have had some hardships over the years. The captain, Steven Stamkos, in 2013, he got injured. Last year in 2016, he got injured twice. He had blood clots that sidelined him, I think, for the whole season. He got injured. He broke his leg. That sidelined him too. He came back for the playoffs, but like the last game of the playoffs, it was Game 7 against the Penguins, I believe. You know, he was sidelined as well, but now he's back. They had trouble with Jonathan Drouin for a little bit. He was saying, "Oh, I want to play more, or I want to get paid more, or whatever the situation was." And Steve Yzerman didn't budge. He was like, "No, if you want to play, you're gonna go play in the minor leagues." And then, you know, Drouin got his stuff together. He said, "Okay, I'm young. I'm not as experienced as these other guys, so maybe I should learn from them first, and then I'll get my chance to play well, or to play more, and to make a bigger impact on the team." So there was that problem, but they traded him over the summer. If you play, because you know many people thought he would be the leader of the franchise for Tampa Bay in the years to come, but they traded him for a defenseman, which, you know, Tampa, they desperately need sometimes. In the past, of course, they needed a defenseman really badly, so they traded him. They acquired Dan Girardi, who a lot of Rangers fans said that, oh, Dan Girardi, you know, he's not that good, he's washed, he's old and stuff. I mean, I kind of get that sentiment, but Tampa Bay, what I like about them is that they're a young team. Just like how I'm a fan of the Lakers, they're a young team as well. I'm a fan of the Raiders. They're pretty young team. They have some young studs, Derek Carr, Cooper, so they have young players. But also in every single one of those teams, they do have veterans as well. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they have Dan Girardi now, who has played more playoff games than anybody on the team. Before it was Anton Strawman previously, who played, I think it was 122, 125 playoff games, but now it's Dan Girardi with like 166 playoff games, which is wild. That's crazy in and of itself, and he's only played for the Rangers too. So now, along with the youthfulness of the team, they now have a veteran star who's going to help them and push them and elevate them to be better. Right now they're 6-1-1 too with their record, so I believe they're leading in the National Hockey League. 6 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss. They're leading. They're up there. Let me see. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. So other teams, you know, that have 6 wins: St. Louis, Toronto, and New Jersey. Those are the only other teams that have 6 wins so far. And Tampa's played 8 games. They have 13 points. 13 points. They have the most points out of anybody. So my team is in the lead, and I'm really happy for them, because over the years they've had trouble, but they got their stuff together. Traded Ben Bishop, Vasilevsky steps in. He's doing a great job as a goaltender. He's 23 years old, so he could be the leader of the franchise in net as well, you know, for the next couple years to come. Nikita Kucherov, this guy is amazing. He is a beast. 7 goals in his first 7 games of the season. That is a feat only done by the likes of Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. He's up there with legends right now, just scoring 7 goals in 7 games. To me, that's amazing, man. And Tampa, they're a great bunch of guys. They've been to the finals before, or the Eastern Conference Finals. They've won the championship only once in their whole career. They won it in 2004 when they had Vincent Lecavalier, my favorite player, and Marty St. Louis. That was when I started liking them, when I saw them play in the playoffs and just beating people and going. I was like, that's my team, because that was when I first really started watching hockey. When I first started playing hockey as well, I got interested in it, so I just stuck with them. I'm not a bandwagon over here. I'm a Tampa fan and Ottawa because I live there. That's the only other reason. And I love Ottawa. They did well. They have Carlson now, so they're doing well too. But I just been a Tampa fan. So all the pieces are coming together for this team, and it's really making me happy because of course, I'm a huge fan, but also it's just great hockey being played right now all around, and I think that the NHL season is exciting, and it's definitely great to see all these things happening. Who do I think could possibly win for the West? I would have said, if you asked me this earlier, I would have said the Nashville Predators, in my opinion. But since they had, to trade some people, James Neal being one, their main star, they might be slacking a little bit in that department. But definitely Chicago's up there beating the Pittsburgh Penguins 10-1. I'm gonna just let that sit. 10-1 beating the Pittsburgh Penguins. That is crazy, man. 10-1. Sorry, I had to put in the password there. But yeah, 10-1 beating the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's a feat not seen by anybody else, man. I mean, I haven't seen a score like that in a while. In, I believe, the first or second game of the season. That's crazy. So this season is definitely doing well. Definitely getting a lot of attention too, with everything that's going on. So I'm just excited to see what's happening. And the only game that Tampa lost was when they put Budaj in net instead of Vasilevsky. Every other game that Vasilevsky was in, except for Florida Panthers. My bad. They lost to the Florida Panthers and Vasilevsky was playing. But when they lost to the New Jersey Devils, it was in shootout. So they went all the way. And all the games that they lost are close. They're both 5-4 actually. Shootout was 5-4, and they lost to Florida 5-4. So even when they lose, they're still right there with the team. So that is a great sign to me, and that shows that in the future they're going to do big things, and I'm really excited for that. When we come back, we're going to talk more sports. We're going to see we're going to talk about what happened in the NBA season. In the first game ever this year. And there was something that happened, man. Shout out to Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics especially. That was a sad situation. We want to talk about it when we come back.